Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
It's great to be back.
Today we're diving into the world of art.
Oh, nice.
But not just the surface level stuff, we're going way deeper.
I like it already.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about like the hidden stories,
Right.
the emotions,
Yeah.
even like social commentary that can be packed into like a painting or a sculpture or whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So our guide for this journey
All right.
is this speech called Art Beyond Aesthetics.
Okay.
And it's by this guy, Mohammed Nazli Aziz.
I've heard that name.
Right, yeah. He's like a big deal in the Malaysian art scene.
Oh, it's right.
And what's really cool about his perspective is that he's both an artist
Yeah.
and also like somebody who really understands the art market.
Interesting.
So he can kind of speak to both sides of it, you know?
Yeah, that's a really cool perspective.
Like what makes something really valuable.
Right.
Not just like price tag valuable, but like, you know.
Exactly. More meaning.
Meaningful. Yeah.
I like it.
So Aziz starts off his speech with this really interesting story about like rediscovering this painting he did when he was a kid.
Oh.
Yeah, he was 5 years old.
Wow.
And he like, you know, painted this rainbow-winged airplane on like a piece of plywood.
Cute.
Yeah. And he talks about how that experience, you know, physically putting paint to that surface,
Right.
it like created this emotional connection that was so different from just like taking a picture of something.
Makes sense.
You know?
Like you're investing part of yourself into it.
Exactly.
You're putting your energy out there.
And he actually argues that like creating something like that, you know, actually making art,
Yeah.
it forges a deeper connection to the work
Yeah.
than just observing it.
Like a piece of the artist's soul is kind of in it.
Yeah, totally.
It becomes more than just like an object or an image.
Right. It holds a story, a feeling.
A whole memory almost.
A whole memory. Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
But he doesn't stop there. He wants to actually recapture that raw perspective that he had as a child.
Interesting.
Like that unfiltered way of seeing the world.
I see.
And he tries to bring that into his art as an adult.
So he's like unlearning all the logic and stuff.
Exactly. It's like he's trying to unlearn all that adult stuff.
Right.
And go back to that childlike wonder.
I can see how that would be really hard.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a challenge.
Makes you wonder, though, like if art is so personal,
Yeah.
how can we as viewers ever really grasp all those layers of meaning?
Well, that's a great question, and Aziz actually addresses that head on.
Okay.
He talks about this book called 30 Art Friends.
30 art friends.
Yeah, and it's basically 30 art collectors talking about their most prized pieces and the stories behind them.
So.
And it really emphasizes this idea that, you know, appreciating art goes way beyond just the aesthetics.
So it's not just about whether you think it looks pretty.
Exactly. It's about understanding the context.
Right.
The artist's journey. You know, the emotions that are woven into the piece.
Wow. So like a whole backstory.
Yeah, totally. And he also talks about how art is like intertwined with the society and the time period it was created in.
That makes sense.
He even points to the National Art Gallery's timeline of Malaysian contemporary art as an example.
Oh, cool.
And he actually calls artists the visual conscience of society.
The visual conscience.
Yeah, it's like each piece becomes the snapshot of a specific moment in history.
I like that.
Right. You can almost feel the thoughts, the anxieties, the hopes of that era.
Yeah, through the art itself.
Exactly.
Powerful stuff.
So we've got the artist's personal journey, the emotional connection, the social context.
Right.
What else should we consider when we're trying to appreciate art on a deeper level?
Good question.
Well, this is where Aziz takes us into this really fascinating exhibition.
Oh.
It was called Paperworks. Marks and Trails of the Artistic Mind.
Paperworks.
Yeah. And what makes this exhibition so intriguing is that it focuses on like sketches. Doodles.
Doodles?
Even the artist's sketchbooks.
Oh, wow. The stuff you don't usually see.
Yeah. Like the behind the scenes stuff.
Like peeking behind the curtain.
Exactly. Seeing the raw ideas before they become the final piece.
Cool.
And there was actually some initial skepticism about showcasing these works.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Well, because they're not finished pieces, you know?
Oh, right.
They're like works in progress.
Makes sense.
But Aziz makes this really compelling argument. He says that these pieces actually offer this unique glimpse into the artist's creative process.
Interesting.
Their secrecy and intimacy, as he puts it.
Okay.
You know, which might be lost in the final product.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's like you're seeing a different level of vulnerability in these raw sketches.
That makes sense.
So how do we actually put all of this into practice?
Yeah.
How do we, like, decode the deeper meaning in art?
Right, like where do we even start?
Well, Aziz gives us some practical tools
Okay.
by looking at the work of three very different artists.
All right.
Razak Abdullah,
Okay.
Yumin Jun,
Yeah.
and Budi Ubrux.
Got it.
So first up, we've got Razak Abdullah,
Okay.
and he's known for his landscapes.
Landscape.
At first glance, they seem,
Yeah.
quite serene and beautiful.
Peaceful.
Yeah, peaceful.
Hmm.
He's considered a contemporary impressionist.
Oh, okay. So like those classic impressionist paintings.
Exactly, with the focus on light and brushstrokes.
Right. Lots of movement.
Yeah, and Abdullah takes that style and brings it into the present day.
Cool. So he's putting a modern spin on it.
Exactly. But Aziz encourages us to look beyond just the surface beauty.
Right.
He says even in these seemingly harmonious landscapes,
Right.
there are these subtle details that hint at deeper emotions.
Oh, interesting. Like what kind of emotions?
Like loneliness,
loneliness.
nostalgia,
Okay.
even a sense of unease.
Oh, wow. That's fascinating.
Yeah. It's amazing how much you can miss if you're just glancing at a painting.
Right. You have to really pay attention
You have to really look closely.
to all those little choices the artist made.
Exactly. The colors.
Composition.
Even the way the paint is applied.
Wow. Yeah. It's like a whole language.
It is. It's like they're communicating with us through this visual language.
That's really cool.
So next we move on to Yumin Jun.
Okay.
And his work is definitely more,
Yeah.
let's say, attention-grabbing.
Yeah. A little more in your face, maybe.
Yeah, in your face is a good way to put it.
Yeah. Those figures.
They're larger than life.
Right.
With those gigantic grins.
It's hard to miss them.
Yeah, you can't help but notice them.
So what's the message behind those laughing figures?
Well, it's actually a powerful statement.
Okay.
Remember how we were talking about accessing the rawness of an artist's process through their sketches?
Yeah, like those doodles and stuff?
Exactly. Well, imagine that energy amplified on a massive scale.
Wow.
That's what you get with Minjun's work.
Gold.
It's bold. It's powerful.
So it's like a reflection of his personality?
Well, it's more like his response to what he sees as the absurdity of modern society.
Oh, I see.
It's like he's saying, the world's gone mad, so we might as well laugh about it.
Interesting perspective.
But there's also this underlying sense of hope.
Okay.
Like a belief that even amidst all the craziness,
Yeah.
we can still find joy and connection.
That's a good message.
Right. It's a powerful message.
Yeah, it is.
And finally, we come to Budi Ubrux.
Budi Ubrux.
And his work is perhaps the most visually striking of the three.
Okay, how so?
He creates these figures that are literally mummified in newspapers.
Wow, that's intense.
It's a very powerful image.
Yeah, definitely not something you see every day.
And it's all about his concern with media manipulation.
Media manipulation?
Yeah, and the impact it has on individual thought.
I see.
He's basically saying that we're so bombarded with information
Right.
that we risk losing our own ability to think critically.
It's just absorbing everything.
Exactly. And what's even more interesting is that in his more recent works, he started to unwrap these figures.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's almost as if he's suggesting that there's hope for us to break free from that grip.
To like reclaim our own thoughts.
Yeah, to reclaim our own thoughts and opinions.
I like that.
So we've gone from understanding the artist's personal journey
Right.
to exploring the social context of their work, and then to actually like deciphering the meaning behind these three distinct artistic styles.
It's amazing how much depth there is.
Right. It's incredible how much depth and complexity can be found in a single piece of art.
And I think it all leads to this bigger conversation about the value of art.
Right.
Not just in terms of money, but in its ability to challenge our perspectives.
Yeah.
And make us think about things we might not have considered otherwise.
Absolutely.
To spark emotions and ideas.
And speaking of value,
Yeah.
Aziz also sheds light on the Malaysian art market.
Oh, interesting.
He describes it as being under the radar, but with a lot of potential for growth.
Oh, wow. So like an up-and-coming market.
Yeah, exactly. He compares it to more established markets.
Like what?
Like China, Korea, Indonesia.
Okay.
And he suggests that as the Malaysian art scene matures, it could become a really interesting investment opportunity.
Wow. So there's potential there.
Definitely.
So what makes a thriving art market?
Well, he outlines some key elements.
Okay.
Like, you need museums,
Right.
galleries,
Yeah.
auction houses, and of course the artists themselves.
Of course.
But he also talks about the need for collectors.
Yeah.
curators,
Yeah.
art critics, even academics.
Oh, wow.
It takes a whole ecosystem.
To support a vibrant art scene.
Yeah, like a whole network of people.
That's really interesting.
And he emphasizes the role of private galleries,
Okay.
like his own, in nurturing the growth of Malaysian art.
So they're like incubators.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're vital in introducing new artists,
Right.
educating the public, and creating a space for artistic expression to flourish.
I like that.
He also highlights the impact of auction houses.
Oh, yeah. Why is that?
Well, because they can generate excitement around a specific artist or movement.
Right.
And they help establish like a benchmark for prices in the market.
That makes sense.
So we have this amazing mix of personal stories,
Yeah.
in-depth links at specific artwork, and a broader view of the art market itself.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. But what I find most compelling is how Aziz never loses sight of the human element behind it all.
Right. It's the heart of it all.
He ends his speech with the story about an interview with an artist, Ahmad Fuad Othman.
Okay.
And the interviewer basically asks Othman, like, why even bother being an artist when the real recognition, the financial rewards often come after you're gone?
Oh, wow. That's a pretty blunt question.
It is. It's like getting right to the heart of it.
Yeah. What drives an artist?
Exactly. And Othman's response is really powerful.
Okay. What does he say?
He talks about how creating art is just part of who he is. Like, he can't imagine living any other way.
It's a calling.
Yeah, and he acknowledges the challenges,
Right.
the financial struggles, the lack of instant fame.
It's not an easy path.
Definitely not. But what shines through is his passion.
Yeah.
That deep-seated need to create, to express himself.
To put something out into the world.
Exactly. And he even goes on to describe himself as a medium.
A medium?
Yeah, for a higher power.
That's interesting.
It's like he's saying art isn't just self-expression. It's a channel for something greater to flow through him.
Wow, that's beautiful.
It is. It's a really beautiful way to end the speech.
Yeah.
Bringing us back to this idea that art is about so much more than just aesthetics or market value.
Right. It transcends all that.
It's about the human spirit, the desire to create that need to connect with something beyond ourselves.
That idea of the artist as a medium has been around for a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, think about ancient cultures.
Okay.
And their belief in art as a way to communicate with the divine. So in a way, Othman is tapping into that ancient tradition.
Right.
Suggesting that art can connect us to something larger than ourselves.
It's a powerful concept.
It is.
So what does all this mean for you, the listener?
Right.
What can you take away from this deep dive into the world of art beyond aesthetics?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that appreciating art is a journey, a process of discovery.
Yeah.
It's about opening yourself up to new perspectives.
Right.
Being willing to look beyond the surface and really connect with the emotions and stories woven into each piece.
Like a conversation.
Exactly. It's a conversation between the artist and the viewer.
And the more you engage in that conversation,
Yeah.
the richer the experience becomes.
Yeah, remember, you don't need to be an art expert to appreciate art.
Right.
Art is for everyone.
It's a universal language
that can speak to us on a deeply personal level.
So go out there and explore. Visit galleries, research artists. Allow yourself to be moved by art.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, like, what do you see?
What do you feel?
What does this piece make you think about?
Those are great questions.
They're the perfect starting point for a deeper understanding and appreciation of art.
And as Aziz pointed out, the Malaysian art market is still relatively young.
Right.
So there's a real opportunity to get involved.
To discover new artists.
Yeah.
And be a part of something exciting as it grows.
And maybe even find some value there.
Right.
As the market expands.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
okay,
I want to leave you with one final thought-provoking question.
Right.
If art is a reflection of society, what does the art being created today tell us about the world we live in? What stories are artists telling?
What emotions are they expressing?
What social commentary are they weaving into their work?
That's a question worth pondering.
It is.
The answers might surprise us.
They might challenge our perceptions.
Make us think about things in a new way.
Even inspire us to make a change.
Yeah.
And isn't that what great art is supposed to do?
Absolutely. It's about sparking conversations.
Pushing boundaries.
And enriching our understanding of ourselves and the world.
Well said.
Yeah.
So to wrap up our deep dive,
Yeah.
we encourage you to explore art with open eyes and a curious mind. Remember, art is a journey. not a destination.
Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride. It's really fascinating, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Like thinking about all these different layers of meaning and how art can connect to like, history and society and even our own personal experiences.
Right.
And, it's not just about understanding the art itself. It's about like connecting with the artist.
Right.
Their vision.
Their process. Like we were talking about with those sketches.
Yeah, exactly. Like those raw glimpses into their creativity. And remember how Aziz talked about the importance of private galleries?
Yeah, they play a big role.
They really do. They're like these hubs of creativity, fostering the growth of Malaysian art.
It makes you want to go out and explore those spaces.
Totally. Like see what's being created right now.
Absolutely.
And this whole idea of like supporting emerging artists, nurturing the art scene.
It's not just for like the wealthy collectors.
No, exactly. We can all play a part.
Right.
By engaging with art.
Attending exhibitions.
Even just talking about art.
Yeah. With friends and family.
Creating a culture of appreciation.
It's like a ripple effect.
Exactly. The more we talk about art,
the more interest we generate.
And the more these artists can thrive.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll even stumble upon the next big name.
Right. Like the next big Malaysian artist.
It's an exciting time to be paying attention.
It really is. And thinking back to Aziz's speech, I think it's important to remember that art isn't static.
Right.
It's constantly evolving.
Reflecting the changing world around us.
Exactly. So those questions you mentioned about what art tells us about our society.
Those are questions we should be asking ourselves all the time.
Because the answers might surprise us.
They might challenge our perception.
Make us think about things in a new way.
Even inspire us to make a change.
And isn't that what great art is supposed to do?
Absolutely. It's about sparking conversations.
Pushing boundaries.
And ultimately enriching our understanding of ourselves and the world we inhabit.
So well said.
Yeah.
To wrap up our deep dive into art beyond aesthetics, we encourage you to go out there, explore art with open eyes and a curious mind.
And remember, art is a journey, not a destination.
Enjoy the ride.